Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a tier 10 game in my Z52. Going over the matchmaking. This is going to be what I want to talk about. I do a lot of destroyer fighting, particularly against the daring, and I want to discuss how to deal with these new boats that have heals and advantages that most of the destroyers they just don't have. And I'm going to talk about it in a Z52 specific way because I pull off some nasty moves here, but some of this stuff you can do with a regular destroyer. So starting out, I spawn near B cap, and my objective is I've got this 6-kilometer hydro. I kind of want to take and set an ambush. I've played this map several times now, and I've started to notice a trend where the enemy DDs like to come try to hunker down around this island, and I have teammates that like to come play around this island. And just what I'm in my head, I see the Seattle going this way, I see Yamato headed this way. In my head, I'm thinking if I can get into this position, I can hydro this island and basically pinch this side of the island out, and that enables my team to basically shoot whatever DD is trying to hide behind this island, and we should be able to kill or cripple him. Now to note, I could do this with any destroyer with this Seattle's radar. So this, again, just isn't Z52 specific, it's just easier with this boat to do these types of plays than just about any other ship. Yu Yang might be a close second, but you're not going to be able to have the concealment that you would typically do. So I push up, I spot the Wooster, I pop hydro, and eventually spot the daring. And he's playing this somewhat right now. Pushing out, he has far more DPM than me. The problem is, this Wooster's not radaring him, or radaring me. I only smoked up because I saw the Wooster running away. And, you know, the pinch is on. And you're just going to see me. I'm just going to keep shooting, you know, just keep, you know, making this really uncomfortable for this guy. I'm going to call target on him. If you can start to see the shot that I'm looking at, here's some of the Seattle shots coming in. Doesn't hit him, but it spooks him. And these torps are kind of ruining my party. I really wanted to sit there and just farm this guy as he came out, but I'm gonna have to get safe here. Just a ton of torpedoes coming through there right now, but that was a lot of damage on that daring. You know, at least 10k for me plus, you know, whatever you know, other teammates got. That's pretty solid. Now, I know there's guys smoked up here. It's the appears to be the Wooster and another DD. I contemplated torping here, but I know Wooster has a hydro, so it could be just a wasted effort. So, just gonna drop on this Montana, who's just starting to accelerate, so that's why I've got the big lead on him. And my hydros, you know, up until recently was still spotting the daring. Excuse me. It's almost 2 in the morning here. A little tired. Basically, my game plan is I'm going to pick a fight with this daring. I've got smoke up in 28 seconds. I'm kiting away from his help. And he's picking a fight with my Shima, 2v1. You know, even with his DPM, you know, we're pretty good. He's given a lot of broadside to me, and Z52 DPM is no joke if you can land those shots, and I'm landing most of it. Now, as soon as Shima goes down, I start to get focused, smoke up. It's not worth. This fight's no longer on my terms. So I'm gonna see if we can, and there we go. We're able to finish the guy off. In the meantime, while that was going on, I did land 3 torps on that Montana back there. Now this shot, I'm taking a perspective shot and seeing if there's anything here. Anything that can spot me, and it's coming back that there's not. So what I'm gonna do, that's gonna tell me that I can push down here aggressive. Now, I didn't see this guy. And he just kind of blended in with these other ships. Thankfully, he's able to stop, and I'm not going to fire a second unit until I'm sure that, okay, this guy is reversing. That's one of those things you can't always just rely on your eyes, and that could have been really bad, taking out a friendly destroyer like that. Now my game plan is, this guy's guns are turned away. He's gonna eat torps. I'm in position to do a gun run here with my AP. And unfortunately he dies to the Asastio torps. But I mean, you saw the kind of damage that I was doing just with that perspective shot. Just my front 2 guns did almost 3k to him. You can do that all day long with battleships. Z23 pops up, and what I'm doing here, I'm gonna pause it right here. What I'm doing here is, I don't, even if I had a smoke, I wouldn't want to smoke up here. This guy is the guy spotting me. So all I need to do is just kite a little more north, and I drop off outside of max gun range, and that basically is going to immediately disengage me, and you can see right there me dropping off. And this is one of the reasons why I chose to go with steering gears too. This guy is making a mistake. We have the cap. Why in the hell are you pushing in? Why not just get angles and farm anything, you know, pushing into the cap? Same thing with this Moskva. I'm calling target on this Henry. This Henry's gonna shred this Moskva. And there's not a lot that I can do about it at this stage of the game until I get my smoke screen. And I would like to get closer to the Z23, but I'm just gonna have to go now because we're gonna lose our Moskva. And this guy, we just need to finish this guy off. Henry is a very powerful boat with its new main battery reload consumable. And again, you can see the just consistent damage here. That Henry was pretty saturated already. So, you know, you could, you know, those were saturated hits. Normally it would be, you know, 3, 4, 5K on the Henry. Now trying to get some damage into this Z23, and again, torpedoes are just zoning me out of what I want to hit. I'm gonna take and line up on this Montana. Montana's angling a little bit. But what I'm doing, I'm just taking a peek, just seeing, okay, if I engage this guy, who can shoot at me? I'm actually fairly low HP. You know, I need to be mindful of trying to protect my HP. I see this Montana pushing around, and I believe I do make a mistake where I swap to, oh no, he turned, either the Asaccio locked onto him or what, but he turned in to the other side of the island. He's able to avoid my torps. But again, why are you pushing in? You know, you've got 3 ships here. What do you stand to win by pushing into these 3 ships? And with cap contested, you know there's a DD in there. I'm using HE here just because I want to make sure that I get solid DPM, but I mean, I'm getting some bad luck with RNG, you know, AA mounts eating up my HE, and fortunately we're able to help kill the Z23, but the issue is he got his torps off, and that's going to pretty much start to spell the end for that battleship. Now what I want to do here, I see that my Yamato is slowing down. This Montana is accelerating in towards him. He might go for a ram. What I want to do, I want to cut him off with my torpedoes and either force this guy to angle to my Yamato to dodge my torps or eat my torps. That's what my intention right here. And then what I want to do is drop into a position where I can use my AP on this ship if he turns out to dodge my my torpedoes. And I do get a hit on him.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
He's starting to turn in, so I'm switching to AP. Yamato finishes. Now I'm detected here. I know there's a destroyer close, probably a Fletcher. It could be theoretically the Montana. But here's the Fletcher, and he's full health. But he's giving me a lot of broadside. I don't waste any time. I'm smoking up. He's giving me broadside. I just keep using AP. As soon as he angles, swapping to HE, and just working this guy down. I can only assume that this guy didn't have, I flubbed that last shot. I can only assume this guy didn't have smoke available. Even if he did, I did have hydro available. Fletcher goes down, and now I kind of notice I'm in trouble with this booster. He's outside my gun range. I'm gonna try to help with this Montana. Honestly, right here, I think I turned the wrong way. I was expecting this guy to go more north. Instead, he turns hard in, and he's gonna detect me, and the booster is gonna finish me off. But honestly, this game is pretty much over anyway because we have a Minotaur down here and we have an AFK up here. And at this point, I am just looking to try to get off some last-minute damage. It's been a pretty effective game for us as far as neutralizing destroyers. I see the booster starting to zero in on me, so I just go ahead, drop my torps, and I just dropped them expecting this Montana to turn into me a little bit, and I'm able to pick up 2 torp hits and a couple flooding ticks, which gives me the Confederate. And this game's a loss. So, just one of those games. Actually had kind of a bad run of just abnormally bad teams recently, but it happens. In this case, you saw all my ships just throwing themselves away. We've got the cap, but the enemy just has, you know, a C-shaped force, one right after another, just drip, 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 drip. I need to die, come kill me. And that's really what cost us the game until that moment. We were up on ships, up on caps. You know, even after all of these ships died, I mean, you look at the points difference. You know, this was solidly in the bag, and, you know, the team threw, and also I made a bad decision on turning in. I didn't want to get close to the Worcester radar. I expected him to not go into B cap. I expected him to go to A because that's where the fighting was, and it just didn't work out that way. So this Minotaur is finally making himself, you know, back into the land of useful. I'm not really sure what took him down all the way down there in the enemy spawn. I don't really think there was anything worth it, but, you know, c'est la vie. So he's gonna push up here and get into it with this Worcester, and honestly, I think Minotaur needs a buff these days. I mean, take a look at this. That's just so painful for a ship that if a ship just bows into you, you're not really able to do much of anything. You know, ship halfway across the map, you know, is doing the work against this, you know, Minotaur. And in the meantime, he's barely scratched this Worcester. He will eventually get the kill, but only because he's got this super heal, and he's able to duck in behind this island so that rune can't shoot him. But, you know, that's really rough for a ship to be like in that kind of shape. Montana finishes off my Minotaur. I mean, if that Minotaur wanted to play smart, you know, hide behind this rock and just keep going. But going ahead, I compliment this Yamato, even though he did some questionable stuff in the end. He did kill secure a lot of stuff that I was killing. But, you know, it is what it is. I do go on ahead, I throw some reports out on these guys. If you're top tier and you can't break, you know, 500-600 XP and you haven't detonated, you should be reported, in my opinion. So just looking over the damage, I mean, lot of torpedo damage. This is a torpedo boat. I know people will claim it is somewhat of a hybrid, but it's like 60% torps, 40% guns, compared to like a U.S. destroyer, which is 50-50. Um, so it's kind of on that scale of things where a Japanese DD would be like 70 torps, 30 guns, being the most torp focused. But here I'm just, taking a look at, the different, damages between my HE, my AP. Um, I do that because that lets me know, is my aim on? Because if I see, you know, if I see like my HE vastly outperformed my AP, I need to rewatch, the video and see what I was doing with my shots. Um, in this case, 14 HE hits for 4,700. Only 5 takes me to 2.5. Um, you can see that those 5 hits, I did land a few pins. There are, I think, 2 over pins there. I'm not going to take the time to calculate it, but you get an idea of, are you hitting what you need to hit, um, and I think that's a good practice. I want to take a quick look here again at this daring, and again, you can see some of the difference. Some of the HE was shattering on him, um, but and that's why the HE is lower. The AP was pretty solid. There were a couple over pins in there, but it was still pretty effective. Um, so all in all, just wanted to talk a little bit about fighting these DDs that have heals, because they do have an advantage. If they can disengage, they can heal up, and as soon as they get that respite, they have an advantage over any destroyer that does not have a heal. That's one of the reasons why you're seeing Grozovoy in comp, is because that ship has a large HP pool, has good gun DPM, has a heal, and it's just basically able to tank other destroyers if it's able to disengage and is not killed immediately. And it's that staying power that makes those ships attractive. You compare that with the other DDs, they tend to have other advantages, usually lower concealment. Um, they tend to have generally better torpedoes, or a special consumable like Z52's Hydro that enables you to deal with those ships in a unique manner. So Z52, just wanted to get some games in here. I mean, this DD's got one of the lowest DPMs, and you know, in this game, I show pretty much how I use the ship uh, to wreck a DD that has one of the highest DPMs for destroyers in the game. And I think that that's a pretty good lesson for people to learn. So I hope you guys enjoy the game. I will talk to you guys later.